So here we are in shit-tacular Vancouver, Canada. That fucking house I was at yesterday that I was taking the burnt out one with no roof. Yeah, so I looked that up and it was gangsterism, the Indo Brothers Keepers street gang. Apparently it was a hitman for the mob who was found dead in that burnt out house. And somebody must have just poured a lot of gas on that fire. That thing was total wreck. Anyways, see the video from before, but shit's getting all fucked up here. There's some where I was over the weekend. The Belcara. They had some arsonists lighting fires over there. I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that son of a bitch, but arson suspected fires started just on the edge of the highway, on the edge of town, on the edge of the parks. I got my fucking campfire coffee here, but we know how to, like, you know, not light shit on fire. You can smoke in the woods. All you gotta do is be really fucking mindful. You can't put it out in the ground because the ground could light on fire. So you have to butt out on a rock, take your spit on a rock, on a stump or something, and then butt your cigarette out. Even like it takes a tiny little thimble of water and some, you know, not being all drunk and stumble bum. That could help too. But whoever the fuck heard of somebody burning down a forest with a fucking joint? Damn thing will fucking just go out on its own if you stop puffing it. You know what I mean? Like the levels of insanity that every normal person, they have to be on, you know, fire rations or fire control orders. But fucking psychos, the contingent of mental patient eco warriors out there, think it's a good idea to light shit on fire. So some of that's been happening up here now. Apparently they already got those ones put out because people were around and they figured out what was going on and they caught the guy or somebody fleeing the scene or around the scene already up to suspicious shit. But like I was saying yesterday, when it's a little bit less hazy now today than it has been the last few days. But like I was saying, I wonder if some of these new developments, some of these new buildings, as soon as they get built and they're worth $1 million, if they're not just lighting on fire. And then yesterday when I seen that burnt out house by my friend's house, who I hadn't been to visit in some time, then I broke into the property, climbed around, showed some pictures of the burnt out house. But when I looked it up, I seem to vaguely remember something about this story, but it's like it just comes and then it disappears. It was some gang affiliate that they found the body in a burnt out house. So the fire's partly to destroy evidence of like a murder scene. Like, this is crazy BS in a nice neighborhood where the houses are millions of dollars for luxury housing. So they got all these brand new development houses that are just like maxed out, McMansion to the fucking maximum edge of the property. And you're like, okay, how many fucking sheiks are there in Iran? I think everybody that had money that needed to get out, they're not getting out now that the United States is at war with them. There's something up. Now, apparently there was a whole bunch, 500 or 1,000 Iranian Ritzy types, Hezbollah Ritzy types, that the money, the funders that got shipped over to Canada right at the onset of the war a year ago. But who knows about that? So they started gang wars in the neighborhood and burnt down the house next door, and across the street the houses are multi-million-dollar McMansion with multiple, car garages and a swimming pool or a basketball court in the back, like crazy bullshit. And you're like, yeah, but the only ones who can afford this are gangbangers who sell drugs to your kids and launder the money back home to support, in support of international terrorism. And that's who can afford the house prices in the neighborhood. Or who are they gonna fucking sell them to for these overpriced fucking shit boxes? What the fuck is going on with this town? I'll be able to find some more burnt out or some more weird shit. There's odd shit like that around, and it just, who the hell knows, folks. But yeah, lots of fires. It's still kind of hazy. I definitely can't see looking out. Like, I mean, you can see in the back that empty building, empty condos is very hazy, as if there's a fucking smoke or a fog in the way. So it wasn't an insurance scam. It wasn't a development gone wrong. Maybe the houses across the street, they'll also light on fire too. I should have spun the camera. I'd have to walk out, climb over the fence again. But as I was going from there, I seen some other, the houses across the street. I was like, okay, well, look at this. Because they got them started, and then the one that's already finished with the for sale sign in front of it, it's like all in a row of 3 fucking ostentatious McMansions right across the street from that. And then there's the power lines, and you're like, oh, okay, it's a nice area, but that's the shitty one that's right up against the high capacity transmission lines. So maybe down the road where your neighbors are like trees or a blueberry or a blackberry bramble patch, oh, okay, yeah, that's kind of, but they're charging more for the house in the area that is the lower cost, because it's the corner, it's the cheaper one in antiquity, but the developers bought that because then they thought it gave them a higher margin, because they would climb all the way up with their McMansion building to maximize their return on that area code, on that niche market of luxury housing in British Columbia again. But everybody's broke, motherfucker. Ain't nobody got the fucking credit. It's the credit crunch is real. I don't know. Some of this shit had some work done on it recently, but like I said, those are the ones that are basically finished with the for sale sign sitting in front of it. The ones that are just the footings, just the excavation, they're languishing. I don't see much work going on. And the only kind of work that's going on is seemingly gangsters getting back at gangsters, or getting back at the rival gangs, or their own gang member fucking bullshit. For the money's just not flowing. The only thing that's got to be making them any money is human trafficking. Nobody's got money to buy drugs anymore, so I don't know. What do? They just keep trading drugs for more stolen property? Well, eventually you run out of storage space, right? So I don't know what the hell the gangs are There's like a 4-way fucking gang war going on the other side of the river right now. And that house, it's all burnt out, that I took pictures of last night, was definitely part of it. So that's what goes on in Schützcouver, because it's too expensive for any human to habitate inside a shitbox leaky condo, so we had to overprice it 10 to 1. These things should be worth like $129,000, like if that, because they're so small. The really small ones, tenfold. They got to do the fractional reserve banking and milk you for life. So we can't even build. There's empty fucking lots, empty fucking rentals, empty fucking gangster murder houses. I'm almost tempted to, like, because I was thinking about it, and I was like, hey, did somebody like crash here? And like right by the transmission lines, because that is like a little bit better part of Surrey. So I was like, what the fuck's going on here? Anyways, I'm gonna let you go, but doesn't matter what neighborhood they're. Everywhere you go, there's fucking somebody that's involved in these gangbanger BS, and all their money is being laundered out of the country. It's in support of human trafficking and the drug trade that's killing your kids, folks. And that's who can afford the luxury houses in Vancouver. That's all. They've priced out the engineers, the doctors, the lawyers even. So unless those doctors and lawyers and, chiropractors or surgeons had bought into the expensive areas back 15, 20, 25 years ago, they wouldn't be living in those rich areas where it's West Vancouver, it's out at anywhere where it says West in it out here, and they just bloop. Oh, guess what? Property's worth 50% more just because of a number on the fucking address, and it's insane. It's insane. But those are the areas that are most gutted and have the most empty housing and the fewest. So the only ones who are moving in are the gangsters that are shooting up your neighborhoods and burning down the multi-million-dollar houses. So how much is their neighbor's house worth? The neighbor directly next door is a very similar McMansion type house. How much is that house worth to sit next to the burnt out remains of a gangbanger's murder scene? Really? Yeah, that's why we call it fucking Schützcouver, motherfuckers.